Hello, and welcome to Conversations with Auntie, where we have real talk about real life situations. I am your host, Tanya Lynne. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the real, the raw, and the unapologetic with Auntie. Well, hello, everybody. You're not used to me sitting in this position, I know. But today, we're doing something a little different. I want to welcome you to Conversations with Auntie, where today you will have a conversation with Auntie. My guest host is my sister friend Mo with her beautiful self, Mo Money, Mo Money. And so this is what she does. She is a jack of many trades and a masterette of many. And I couldn't think of anybody else that I would trust to talk to about me and trust to ask me just anything about me.
I love that.
And so, yeah, because you're a safe place for me. You're a safe space for me. You're a safe, very safe space for me. She even helps me when I'm on movie sets with her brother Mike and his partner Tina. She helps me with wardrobe and make sure my makeup is tight and right and everything. I had to do it this time by myself a couple weeks ago. But it was okay. I did it. They were there. I did it. Tina had me. So anyways, everybody sit back, relax, and enjoy Conversations with Auntie today. Before we get started, I got to get a plug to the first person. I was in his movie.
Who? Wait.
Philly Wheaton's movie. I played his mama.
Really?
I played his mama. And so I definitely want to advertise his recharge. I happen to have some right here, but we have a flyer. It's recharged. And you can go to his, to the Voltage Training and Fitness Center. It's located at 1635 Lee Road, Cleveland Heights, Ohio. To pick it up, you have the gel bottle that sprays out, and you also have the roll-on, which I have. And so the roll-on is $25, the gel is $35. Mo uses it, and that's why I have it, because I'm recovering from a total knee replacement. And plus, with being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, sometimes my joints just hurt. This is CBD. It works, but it's THC free.
Yes, it's THC free.
And it works wonders instantaneously.
Yes.
So you definitely want to check this out. You won't be sorry. And we'll show the flyer again, make a screenshot of it at the end of this show. Okay, so let's have a conversation with Auntie.
First, I am so honored to be here today.
Oh, wow.
Like, truly, truly honored. I'm like, are you sure, you want to have this conversation with me, with moi?
Have to.
So thank you for having me in the Queen's seat.
Oh.
And I'm just humbled. I hear safe space a lot, so I don't take it lightly. As you can see, I'm not judgmental. I feel like life is life, and it happens to everybody. And sometimes you just want to just release. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for you to say that you find that in me is extremely touching.
Definitely.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Conversations with Auntie.
Yes.
You are like everybody's auntie. You're that auntie that's like the homegirl auntie. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So my mom, has 3 sisters. My mom is not recently, but has passed on or transitioned, but she has 3.
Mine too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, over 20
3
years.
sisters. But it's just that one auntie that's really like our girlfriend, right?
Yes.
So are you that auntie to family members and friends? I could tell your whole vibe is about that.
I am definitely that one. When I was in school, and I'm also sharing the podcast to our page now, and I'm going to tag you in it. But when I was in school, I was the one for the underdog. I always seemed to migrate to the one that nobody wanted to be bothered with, like the stinky kid or the kid that was a little different or maybe had a little disability. Because back in the 60s and 70s, I'll be 60 next month.
Right.
So back in the day of the day. School was different than it is now. I'm a school nurse now, and so we deal with children with seizures. They're in a regular school. They don't have to go to a special needs school because the healthcare industry has adjusted and adapted so much. But I was that one that always wanted to help that child back in the day.
Where did that come from?
My great-grandmother.
Okay.
My great-grandmother, there were so many people that passed through her door men and women, black and white. When it was, a time of segregation, that never applied to her. She was embraced and well respected by all. She was a safe space for all. And I didn't understand the depth of who she was until just a few years ago when I was doing a domestic violence event. And I sat down and somebody asked that question, where did it come from?
Yeah.
And I said, my great-grand, it hit me right then. She had women that would come in from places and that was safe. And her house was strategically done. It was back maybe about 200 feet from the road.
All right.
And had these hedges that came up to cover the house. And then the corner, she had this garage. But the hedges came to the garage on both sides and went around the perimeter of her property.
Now, did she raise you or you just spent a lot of time over there?
Both.
Okay.
Both. My mother was a single, but she and my dad were married, then they got a divorce. And so when we moved back to Pennsylvania, because I lived my first 5 years here in Ohio, on Fairport. And my mom and dad, they used to wrestle and tussle sometimes, and I would walk from Fairport to Lynn Drive to my great aunt Ella Avery's house. And then I would travel between there and Detroit with my great uncle and aunt, or Pennsylvania with both sets of my grandparents. And so when my mom went back home, village.
I see.
The
I
village.
got you.
So my great grandmother, and I was the eldest. And so
the oldest.
I hung up with my great grandmother all the time.
I hear that. I hear that a lot. The oldest always seems to be the helpmate, so to speak. My mom was like that too, to the point that she actually didn't go back to school past 8th grade, helping raise, the rest of her siblings. So I could not imagine at this day and time with my own kids or myself. Like, what you mean you're not going to school past 8th grade? Helping out, but it was a different time back then. When you say you're attracted to the underdog, because I'm that same way, so we got this linked spirit right here.
Always.
Have you ever, how do you deal with helping the underdog and then they turn around and bite you?
Girl, I need something to drink.
I know, something a little stronger than water though. I've recently had that happen, this week. But I try to it's cool, because I don't want to let that change me.
Something my daughter Janae, my baby's 30 now, but my baby was maybe in 3rd grade.
Okay.
And these females at her school, she said, but my friend, I gotta go, my friend. I said, but Janae, wait a minute, they're not your friend.
Listen.
And the boys were picking on them. My daughter could fight. She's little, but she could fight because she and her brother are 10.5 years apart.
And she ain't getting none of that from her mama?
Yeah.
Well, tell the truth, she ain't the devil now.
She got it honest. Comes down to blood. My late husband used to say, if some mess jump off, I'm calling on the women of the family.
That's right.
The men don't even have to handle it.
That's right.
The women on the family, they got it on lock.
That's my family too.
Listen, so I said, Janae, they're not your friends. She said, Ma, I didn't say they were my friends. I'm their friend. And I've carried that with me. So when I've done what I'm supposed to do, and you turn on me, you're really not turning on me. You're removing yourself from the umbrella where the blessings come.
That's it.
And when I realized that based on what this 3rd grader said to her mother, that's something, and it hurts. Because I'm a type of person, you let me know you need. If I have it, I give it.
You did it for me.
Listen. If I, and if it's my last, you're not going to know it's my last. Because I'm going to be that gap filler. But you can turn on me, and I just simply say, thank you, God, for showing me that I don't need to invest this way in them. I can love you from a distance.
But does it make you pause on helping the next individual?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't, because it was not that individual. And that's even good. Sometimes when I see similarities, I might see similarities between this one and that one, I still let it ride out because it might turn differently. It might not be the same. And then even if it is the same, I was led to do it by God.
It was your assignment.
It was my assignment.
It was your assignment.
And so as long as I complete my assignment, he handles the payback.
I love it.
He does the hiring and firing.
I love it.
That I let him handle that because I know my heart was pure, my motives was pure. And I actually asked God to be merciful to them. I said, Lord, you be merciful. And I know you may or may not be. But I'm asking you to be merciful towards them.
But this sounds like a mature Tanya speaking. Were you always like that growing up?
We had to be.
Okay.
Because when we would get upset, we lived with my grandparents, my mom's parents, but we were around both sets a lot and very, very grounded faith. But my grandmother would upset me to no end when I go to complain and I want to say, I just wanted to say, yeah, because you should da-da-da. She was no, trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not into thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. I'm not trying to hear no proverbs right now. I want you to tell me that they was, go tell that person, that adult that got
That's
smart
right.
with me, that hell you was wrong. Don't talk to my grandchild. I got to, but my grandmother would always say she would, and she let you vent, let you cry.
Right.
I'd be like, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not into your own, and that was it.
What did that teach you though?
It taught me that sometimes no response is the best response.
Listen. Wait, say that again.
No response is the best response.
Absolutely.
It also taught me to watch my mouth.
All right.
Because I have power in my mouth. So don't say what you don't want to come back on you. It also taught me that everybody's not on my level. They might be older than me. They might be the same age as me. They might have more children than me. They might have the same number of children as I. They might have a bachelor's in communications like I. They might not. They might have a doctorate, but they're not like me. They weren't raised like me.
That's right.
And people always say common sense is common. No. Common sense, and I learned this from my late husband when he was doing something. And I said, well, you should know that Janae wants chocolate. She was on her little cycle thing, and you should have known to get her chocolate.
You want some
too.
chocolate.
And I said, it's common sense. And he said, you're not going to keep saying that to me. Why would it be common sense? I have no children.
And he's not a female.
He
doesn't have cycles.
He doesn't have cycles.
That's right.
So common sense is based on your common knowledge of a situation.
Absolutely.
And if part A has a knowledge on giving birth and part B is male who has no knowledge of giving birth, part A can't talk to part B as if part B knows what part A is going through and vice versa. And so that's what I look at. They're not like us.
You're cut from a different cloth. As your grandmother would say. It's cut from a different cloth.
Absolutely. They're not like us, and so we didn't fight a lot growing up. Now, we were also taught, though, don't start it. Oh, but you better finish it.
You better finish it.
You better. If they hit you, you better tear it up. You better tear it. From my brother to my sister to me.
You better not come back to this house.
To my kid, you bet.
That's right.
Listen, it was so funny that the girls would bother my brother sometimes. And he would say, you don't hit a woman. So my brother would never fight him back. And he would cry and cry. So I would have to fight for him. Right?
No.
But he'd be at home.
And you out there fighting
my
the battles.
The least you could do was just stand and watch and tell him off or find something.
It's the women in the family.
It's the women in the family.
I come from a family full of women. Even growing up, like my first cousins, I swear it's probably about 15, 16 of us before a male came in. So we run it.
Wow.
We run it.
For real, Boston.
For real, run it.
It's a Boston every time.
I mean, it is what it is.
I love it.
So that's interesting to know. Speaking of old school, so I'm assuming you raise your children in that way. What do you think is missing from this generation of young people?
Grandparents. The crack pandemic came and took grandparents.
Okay.
It left those grandparents raising their children. But that segment that would have been grandparents to their children were removed from the crack. They couldn't parent. The grandparent parent. And when it's time for you to step up to be the grandparent, you're not connecting. You've disconnected. Also, discipline is missing from the adults, not the children. See, we want to fault our children, but what have we put in? What have we put in them? We let them see everything. Like, we don't shelter them from nothing. We don't monitor their social media. Like, Janae, I would say, give me your phone.
I still do that.
What's the passcode?
Right. I make the passcode.
Okay. And how old's your baby?
Well, she's 20 now, but I still know the passcode to her phone. You don't have no privacy.
Right. Listen, I told Janae when I said, you got my location, how come I don't have yours? What you need it for that? August 5th, when a tornado threw her in my car, a football field length, and then landed her on the rail and it turned about a half a quarter mile, she started sharing her location with me all the time then. Because then she understood what I meant. But it's the grandparents from back in the day,
right,
where we were the extended arm, where our sons and daughters didn't have to struggle. We did it together. It was okay for you to come home. We're not charging you rent. We want you to get up on your feet. This is your safe space. This is your place to regroup. This is your transitional housing space where you make your transition from here. This house the cousins stayed at, the aunts and uncles came and stayed at, the siblings stayed at, the grandkids, the great-grandkids, they all stayed at. This is the rite of passage
Grandma's
home.
house.
That's missing. That's what's missing. That's what the difference is between then and now.
Because that's what I had. I grew I was at my mother's. Of course, my mother raised my sister and I, but we spent a majority of the time at grandma's house and all the other cousins. So, and because it was so many females and we all ended up at my grandmother's house, we really didn't have any friends outside of us.
Outside of it. Cousins were your best siblings,
too.
Cousins
are like your sister.
Brothers.
Well, yeah,
Listen,
sister cousins.
that's the thing. And matter of fact, my cousins that live right here in Cleveland, lived off of Empire, across from the old Empire School was.
Right.
The last day of school, my cousin Elvira, she would show up and she would take Carol, Sonny, and Debbie to Pennsylvania to my grandparents.
Yeah.
Because my grandmother never had to work.
Yeah.
And cousin Janet, my mother, who was their older cousin, and now they're my older cousin, so they did for me what my mom did for them.
Yeah.
They went up on Locks Hill. That's where we're from, Locks Hill, Pennsylvania. They went up on the hill with acres and acres and acres of land, pigs, goats, chickens, ducks, gardens, pear tree, peach tree, apple tree, plum tree. Grandmother cooked off the land. I mean, just could be free. And their mother didn't have to worry about them being in the streets here in Cleveland when she was at work. She was a nurse. And so when it was time to go back to school, a couple of days before it was time to go back, they pick them up. I mean, it was to the point where their friends were like, I want to go see the Pennsylvania cousins too.
Right.
I want to go visit the Pennsylvania cousins too.
That's missing.
Because they would come back and tell all the stories. And so that element of the grandparent, the safe space, the family home, when crack came in, it changed the dynamic of family in such a way. And I have hope in this new generation now because they're seeking truth. They're seeking honesty. They're seeking integrity. And they're the millennials. They're taking it back to the roots. They're looking at heritage
want you to be
and
authentic,
legacy. Authentic,
and connect emotionally.
Yes,
because in my mother's generation, they did not express a lot emotionally. You know what I'm saying? There was not a lot of communication growing up. It's just do what I say, do.
Because I said so.
Because I said so.
Because I said so. But if we have to stick with the because I say so answer, how equipped are we really making our sons and daughters? Because I said so. If you teach them the reason why, then they know how to process this situation. Yeah. And say, well, if I do this, and this is going to happen.
So do you believe in what they call, is it soft parenting? Is that what they say nowadays?
That's what they say, but I think it's called informative parenting.
I like that.
Because I need you to understand. I remember when my daughter was going to college, I took my daughter to her doctor's appointment. She and her doctor talked. And my daughter was on the pill because of cramps. Okay. But I was still going to get her on there anyways because I don't let her go outside in the rain without an umbrella. I don't let her play in the snow without a hat and glove. That's not giving your child permission to have sex, but it's giving them a choice when to become a parent.
I did the same thing. Now, my mother ain't no way. Don't even mention sex.
Girl,
child, you're going to be back smacked on punishment, all of that.
Right.
And we were in the church, too.
In the baby.
Child, sat down, silenced. I've been sat down.
Got to stand before the front of the church.
And apologize.
Listen, they ain't calling the boy in front of the church, though. The nasty stuff.
Right. He led me down there.
Listen.
But I got to sit down now.
Right.
How do you feel about that? Were you raised in the church? Okay.
I'm a PK. I'm a preacher's kid. grandfather, deacon board, godfather, pastor, cousins, pastor. I mean, all through my family. My great-grandmother was an awesome evangelist and all of that. I thank God that I didn't come from that type of a church.
Amen.
My church taught me, forgiveness, love, support.
Okay.
We don't condemn. We transform.
You grew up in a church like that.
Yeah, and it was Baptist. It was Baptist. We believed in speaking in tongues. We believed in evangelizing. We believed in the fivefold ministry. So when I moved to Cleveland, I was kind of culture shocked, and I moved when I was 30. I was in my 30s. I was culture shocked to hear you don't believe in women preach. What?
Yeah.
And you still trying to take the chick in front of the church because she done got pregnant, and you're not accountable with the young man and all of that. I was in shock because I didn't come from that place.
It wasn't the long jean skirts to the bottom, no makeup, no nail polish, no movies.
When my great-grandmother died, I got her shoes.
Wow.
When my great-grandmother died, I got her shoes. She had some heels, honey, and some wedgies. When my grandmother died, I got her clothes and her shoes.
And you worked them.
Worked.
I know you did. I know you did.
So we come from, my great-grandmother would take me to the boutiques, stand me up on the counter, undress me, and redress me.
Love it.
And then had the bags too. And then we went on with her. And not because I wasn't dressed. That's just what she wanted to do that day with me.
This is very different for me to hear someone from your generation not have church hurt. That's beautiful. No, like that's
I can't
really
say we didn't have
beautiful.
church hurt.
Okay, so you
I didn't have to deal with that. When I got pregnant with my son, who was not through consensual sex.
Right.
When I got pregnant with my son, people tried to talk, but my grandmother talked. She didn't come with trust in the Lord at that time. She had her little sly comments, but it was still scripture though. She judge not lest you be judged. From the same manner which you judge, you should also be judged. You drink, don't you? That was her. You didn't get pregnant, did you? Let's remember that time when you had that miscarriage. Like she knew what this.
She was sly with it.
Man, my grandmother was the GOAT for real, the greatest of all. Everybody loved Aunt Liz. Everybody loved her, and everybody called her Aunt Liz or Liz. Everybody loved her because she didn't judge.
That's where you get that from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
see it on yourself?
I do. I look a lot like her. I look like my mother, but I look a lot like my grandmother too. The older I get, my mannerisms, my thing. Like I catch myself doing this. That's my grandmother all day. My slick tongue. That's my mama all day. My ability to feed whomever with a little bit of nothing. That's my grandmother all day.
There's pieces of them in you that you recognize and see.
Even my grandfather though, because he was there. They were married. So like, what needs done? Okay, well let me climb up there and try to hang this. That's my grandfather. I'm not afraid of that. I saw a mouse in my house. Let me get some sticky pads and catch this mouse.
Right.
Because unless you're gonna pay rent, you can't live in my house. So let me get this. And okay, you did. Now bye. See ya. Handle it. I'm a homeowner. You got to handle it all. The good, the bad, the ugly. Cut the grass. Little small plumbing little things. So being before I could drive a car, I had to know what was under the hood.
Right.
And then he would teach us how do you wash a car? No, you wash it from the top down. Because you don't start down here, because then if you go at the top, then the dirt
everything is going to run down.
Exactly. So
I start at the top.
Yeah.
So in incorporating pieces of them, characters, personalities, traits, little things like that, to help form you, did you ever have a problem of a little bit of self-identity, like this is parts of them, but who is Tanya? How did you find you? So like, for instance, like when you had your children, then they were like, oh, this is a piece of my mom and da-da-da-da. But what part is just Tanya?
I didn't find Tanya until I was in my 50s.
Interesting.
I had pieces of her that came out through them. But in my 50s, 50 came and taught me, your approval is not necessary. And that came from what they've told me. I am enough.
Wow.
I am enough. And it was from being a blessing to people that hurt me, supporting people that lied on me, talked about me, some in church. That's where church hurt comes. Yeah. And then what I realized is because of who I am and whose I am, theirs and his.
That's right.
I'm going to have people who don't like me.
Mm-hmm. And that's okay.
Because that's not my problem.
That's okay.
I'm going to still sleep.
They ain't like Jesus. Everybody ain't
Period.
like Jesus.
First of all, it was the liars that crucified him.
But you know what? They're playing their part in their position.
Mm-hmm. Because without the crucifixion, there was no salvation or remission of our sins. So my sister and I, she used to be a pastor. She's a licensed ordained like I am. So my sister and I, last month or maybe the month before last, we were talking on the phone and we had this conversation. Sometimes you got to have a little poop.
Some fertilizer.
That's what we said.
To help things grow.
Fertilizer to help. That's exactly what we said.
Yeah.
And she and I were preaching back and forth on this phone for like over an hour about that. You know, when you drive and it's beautiful and you smell the manure, but when you look, you see the beautiful green grass. Mm-hmm. You see the big, tall crops. Mm-hmm. And so in my 50s, I learned that I needed that poop to become who I was.
Absolutely.
In my 50s, I learned that. And I'll be 60 in my 50s.
So you just learned that.
Yeah.
A decade ago.
A decade ago. I became comfortable in every part of me. In every part of me. I had gained weight. People talked about me. Mm-hmm. But you're not even married. You didn't watch your husband die. I did. And then a year to the day from his memorial service, my daughter's biological father died. So literally 12 months. So I wake up on January 26, 2011 and say, wow, a year ago. I was in the hospital actually. Thought I was having a heart attack, but my potassium was real low. Mm-hmm. And so that morning when I woke up, everything was good. Everything was stable. So my sister came and took me home. Mm-hmm. So I got in bed and then she called back and said, Jeff died. But as I'm climbing in bed, I'm saying, a year ago today was my husband's memorial. And as I had the thought to phone her, I said, hey, what's up? She said, what you doing? I said, I'm in bed. She said, I just called to tell you Jeff died. So now I have to go tell my child in her room that on the year from when
anniversary of
your biological father is now dead. So with that, you start looking at things differently. But I had to navigate through that. And as I navigated, people talked about me. They didn't help the widow. The Bible says, bless the widow. Mm-hmm. Because I looked good, you thought I was wealthy, thought I was rich. I had no life insurance policy for him. He canceled it. So here I am trying to put the pieces together, and I still have a child in high school that I got to get to college.
Would you have let people help you?
Yes, but very few offered. Very few offered. They think your husband died, you get this pension. No, you got to get older. You got to get in them 60s. I'm approaching to collect all of this, and this, and this. And so they didn't consider me.
How did that make you feel?
Alone, unworthy. Sometimes, just the other Sunday, I said, God, am I worthy to be considered? Am I worthy to be considered? Because it seems like you can help everybody else and you can serve and do for everybody else. And then they celebrate with everyone but you. They thank everybody but you. They bless everybody but you. And I asked, I said, God, am I worthy to be considered? Wow.
Yes, you are.
Yep.
Because you've planted so many seeds.
So many seeds.
And you're like, when is my harvest coming?
Yeah.
You know?
That's it. When is it coming? Am I worthy of it? Am I worthy to receive the harvest? I'm glad I brought some napkins. Am I worthy? Am I worthy? You know? And that's why my heart is how it is. Because growing up as a child, I had those I didn't always feel included. I was always loved, good, always provided for, always taken care of. But sometimes, because I'm different, I didn't feel like I was always appreciated or always. I felt like the black sheep. I felt like the outcast sometimes.
Like people took you for granted.
Yeah.
That it was always an ulterior motive for your presence or needing you.
Or
just no genuine.
Or she's so strong, she don't need us.
She don't need
even
nobody.
as a kid. She's good. She got it. Somebody said, you're an extrovert. I said, I'm really not.
No.
I'm really an introvert.
But extrovert tendencies when need be.
When need be.
Yeah.
Because I would love to be in a cottage somewhere, cozied up, fireplace, food. That's my peace. I don't need Vegas.
Now, who is that person? Because for me, that's Monique. Everybody knows me as Mo. Mo is the dragon slayer, okay? She gonna come out, she gonna get it done. She looks like the extrovert, the energy of one, but Monique, oh my gosh, she don't want to be bothered. I can only be around people so long, but then when you retreat to the house, it's like the safest space ever. So who is the one, because we see Tanya as the dragon slayer. Who is the little girl at home? Who's the introvert? How often do you see her, care for her, visit her?
That's Tanya.
That's Tanya.
Tanya died. When Tanya was diagnosed with MS 8 years ago, she died so that Tanya Lynne could live. Because Tanya would never be the same again. And no matter how hard I tried to fight for Tanya, Tanya couldn't survive because she didn't function the same anymore. And there was nothing I could do to put those pieces back together to make her function again. I used to work out 6-7 days a week. Philly was my trainer.
Wow, full circle here.
Before my husband died, I worked out 6-7 days a week. I looked good, was fit. Then as the cancer started taking over, things shifted. And I was a college student. I went back to school. I was getting an associate's in fundamentals of business, doing all of that. She was resilient. She was stronger than Tanya Lynne in a lot of ways. But she was more introverted. She was more mindful of what made Tanya Lynne happy. But here's the crazy part. But Tanya Lynne is more mindful of doing what needs to be done to make me happy now. It's a teeter-totter, but it's what I've had to balance. And I remember talking to my psych. Yeah, I see a psych and I take a pill. It's Alexa. It's my friend.
Hey.
And I remember telling her one day I had to eulogize Tanya so that Tanya Lynne could live. Tanya Lynne is the actress. Tanya Lynne is the writer. Tanya Lynne is the mom of the grandmother. She's all of that Tanya was. But now she understands the grace that needs to come with it.
Okay.
She understands the pace for the race now.
Okay. She can cover herself.
She can cover herself now. So while Tanya did things to take care of her, like try to, I need a vacation, I need to do this, I need to do that. Tanya Lynne says, no, you're going to do this. I make it become an action now.
All right.
So Tanya died so Tanya Lynne could live. I remember when I told my psych that, she said, dang, that was good.
That is good.
I was like, is it? But I had to eulogize a piece of me because that piece was never going to come back again. Yeah.
But Tanya wasn't holding you back. You think Tanya was holding
Tanya held me back because what happened with Tanya was Tanya held some things that happened to her in childhood. Tanya was carrying some things that happened to her in adulthood. Tanya carried a lot of stuff. She was the bag lady. You gonna hurt yourself. So I was the bag lady. Tanya Lynne is like, I ain't care.
I ain't on that.
Baby, you better get on my face with that. I ain't got time for that. That's what I'm telling you. This is what and my sister be cracking up because I don't like when people say it's what I'm not going to do. But sometimes I say, because I'm not, this is what we're not going to do.
That's what we're not going to do.
This is what we're not going to do. And so they both balanced and they both were necessary. So while Tanya did stuff to take care of Tanya Lynne is more consistent.
Understood. I understand that.
More consistent, because like today, I had to go take care of some business, and I said, well, I don't want them to see me videoing, so I did a voice memo. They didn't know that, so they could hear. And when I played the voice memo back, but everything I handled, I could hear myself slurring. I said, oh, I'm really tired. Like, I knew my body was tired.
Okay.
But one of the things that come with MS in me is I get to slurring. And I don't connect. I be misfiring sometimes.
Okay.
And I heard it. And I said to myself, you got to do better with you. You got to
taking care of your health.
Yeah. You got to
knowing when to say when, to stop, to pause.
And the thing is, we can't control. Like, I deal with chronic fatigue every day. And it's not that I don't sleep. Fatigue and tired is two different things. Okay. And so tired, you take a nap, you're good. Fatigue, I take sleeps hours, and I wake up and I'm still like, ugh. You know, it's what it is. But I know how to press through, but I'm mindful.
Is this what some of your fitness journey is about?
Yes.
Because I see you on there, girl.
Yes.
I was like, get slim. Yes. Slim thick. Wait, what did you call it?
Slim thick.
Slim thick? Okay, thick. I knew it was something thick. Like that.
Yep, that's what I do. My friend Lisa, sister friend Lisa from our church, she lives in Houston, and she called me Slim Thick, and I loved it. So I like it. And her sister calls me Skinny T, and her sister Jen has just lost a lot of weight, over 70 pounds too. But Tanya Lynne deserves to live her best life.
Absolutely.
Tanya Lynne deserves to be fabulous, unapologetically.
Say that.
Unapologetically.
Because you just found her in your identity just a decade ago. So you just now living and living your best life. What does 60 look like for you?
Oh, my good girl.
Sensational.
It does. To me, it's like, wow. Rape, I survived.
You and me both.
Lies, I survived. Attempting to defame my character, I survived. Living in lack and loss, I survived. I married a man that I knew had AIDS. I'm not infected. And had unprotected sex with him for the first 9 months of my marriage. I'm not infected.
Wow.
And it doesn't lay dormant. I survived. 2 nonprofits and an LLC. I survived. 2 children I birthed, but you ask them, they say my mom has thousands of children, so many other I raised. I survived. So 60 looks like a love song. And I'm dancing into the key of me.
I love that.
60, it's like a new decade, a new beginning. It's a launching pad. Books are going to roll out. The film will get finished. 60 is my fresh air, my fresh wind. 60 is not my hope, it's the manifestation of my peace and the release of my hope.
You already walking in it.
I am.
You're already walking in it.
I am.
You don't need it in November. You're already in it. Like, I can feel that. I can see that.
I am. And like, it's so unapologetic. I deal with people in the streets a lot. And so sometimes people say I say things harsh. That's not, I'm not harsh. I'm just me.
Right.
And so you're you, but if you get to know me, you know that I'm not harmful. I'm helpful. And I'm intentional. And I'm dependable and reliable.
What do you think is the most misconception about Tanya Lynne?
That she's a know-it-all. And I'm not a know-it-all, but I know a lot. And that which I know, and I'm not going to let anybody tell me I don't. Oh, girl, listen, that's us. I just went to the site. So that's that's me. That she knows that I don't.
You think
that
you think they think you know it all because you have no problem speaking your truth right there in the moment.
And people used to call me crazy. I stopped that. I had to tell somebody, you will never call me crazy again because I'm not crazy. I only say what you're thinking. What I would rather piss you off and have you mad at me than allow the whole room talk about you because nobody loved you enough to say something. I said, if you don't have friends that are like a girdle, they're tight.
Tight.
They make you uncomfortable, but you can't see them. But when you go out into that public, you look good. Then you don't need them. You don't need the friends you got because a friend's supposed to make you feel like a girdle, tight, hold you, uncomfortable. Sometimes take your breath away.
Listen.
But when you're in public, when you're in front of others, you look good, baby. You look good.
Cover you.
Cover you.
What's your circle like today?
It's a dot.
It's a dot.
And let me tell you why it's a dot.
Wait. Like
a dot.
That's it.
And why?
Why?
Because the dot's a period and ends the sentence. I control the
Auntie.
narrative of my life.
We are taking donations and offerings, a love offering right now, because, honey, that was a word, and it will preach.
You can send it to Zelle or Cash App to my phone number, 216-767-6228. And there it go. And let me tell you, when God just gave that to me last week, I used to tell people my circle's a dot.
A dot.
I used to always just say it because I don't have a lot of people in my circle. Like, I know a lot of people know me, but I don't have a lot of people in my circle.
They know, no, correction, they know of you.
They know of me, but they don't know. That's
you.
the part.
That's it.
And then you want to believe something that somebody else said, but then you come to me and say, I'm so sorry because they said this, and I said, oh, but it's okay. But what did you say when they was talking about me?
Right.
Because
did
for you to
co-sign,
come and
say nothing at all?
Tell me all that they were saying about me.
You didn't shut it down.
You didn't, baby.
You didn't shut it down.
Can't nobody come and tell me nothing about Mo.
Nothing.
They can't tell me nothing about Danita Harris.
That's right.
They can't tell me nothing about Melanie.
That's right.
They can't tell me nothing about Mike Berry. They can't tell me nothing about Tina. They can't tell me.
That's right.
Can't tell me nothing about Philly. I'm gonna shut you down.
Shut them down.
Real quick.
Yeah, the fact that you let them get it all out.
Yep.
No, ma'am. No,
meant
sir.
that you were listening. And to listen means you're an accessor. Because you were in that car.
Wait, toast to that. Clink.
Clink. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You were an accessor to murder. You were trying to kill me with your mouth. And so now I just let God let me shine in front of them.
Because they got to be at the table.
They got to be.
They got to watch you
He says,
eat.
thou prepares a table in the presence of your enemies.
Yeah. You don't need to block them.
I let them say, baby, look at me. I let you block me.
Yeah.
And then when you realize that you need me back in your life because I'm the one that helped you pray out that mess, and now you back in them, and now you want me to pray you out that mess again, I don't accept your friend request. I let you stay there.
They're watching you anyway. There's no way you can have, like, let's just say social media, because we're talking about that. I don't know, 15 likes, hearts, likes, love, whatever, but 900 views.
900.
Those 15 people not watching this 900 times.
Come on.
Okay?
Come on.
So I give them something to watch.
I give them
You can tune in anytime. Ain't no
Listen.
commercial breaks here. You can rewind it, play it again.
What's Reba's song? Let's give them something to talk about. That's my thing. If you're talking, I'm going to put on a show.
Lights, camera, action.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Like my birthday, and I had to try to figure out who to invite. My friend, Lisa McGuthrie, shout out.
Okay.
She owns Signature Events and Venue.
Yeah.
260th and Tungsten. She also owns Our Favorite Things Boutique on Larchmere. Her husband passed this past February unexpectedly.
Sorry. Okay.
I was there. It was no big deal. That's my sister friend. But she kept saying, but I'm going to give you a party for your birthday. And I just kept blowing her off because, no, you know, baby's going to college, this, that, and the other. No. Finally, she got me got me together. So I'm having a 60th birthday party. Everybody's not invited. And it's not to be mean to anybody. First of all, I don't have the funds like that to pay for the extra, but I do have some extra coming.
Okay.
And it's 200. It's the guest list, but hers was 125, no more than 150. So you don't tax your friend who's doing this for you at their event center with the extra. You pay the extra.
Right.
So you can accommodate. And unfortunately, I can't invite everybody that
That's
I know
right.
loves me. But I'm inviting those that came when I was down and didn't even know I was down, but God sent them and they followed the assignment.
Exactly.
I'm coming to those who know the heart of me. That's who I invited, and even some still couldn't come. And I know that I'm gonna get people are gonna say some smart things, and I don't care. It's my birthday.
It's your birthday.
It's
Go
my
Tanya.
party.
It's your birthday. Go Tanya.
Go
It's your
have
birthday. I made an RSVP list. Hey,
Yes,
hey,
yes,
hey.
yes, you did.
Speaking of friends and those that would be disappointed, if you were truly my friend, you wouldn't be disappointed. You really wouldn't even ask why or, make it more difficult for me. How do you handle losing, if this has happened, and I'm sure it has, adult friendships? How do you handle that?
I had someone I was in ministry with, and I looked at them and I said, "Girl, you can take my name off of anything that's connected to your everything." Meant that.
And you meant that. Do you leave room for it to come back together? Is there ever an open door for discussion?
The door's
It's always
open.
for forgiveness.
I did open the door back, but I haven't spoken to them. I don't hate them, and if something happens, I'd be there if they needed something. They don't live in the state. But the thing was, how are you my friend and you're taking from me? And I'm struggling hard. 3 years I didn't work at all because I was sick and nobody knew that I had MS. I was working out with Phil and I was doing so good. Month 2, month 3 hits and my body just stopped. And the doctors never thought to check me for multiple sclerosis until 2016 when I started having issues with my trigeminal nerve.
Okay.
And my face felt like I was being shocked and electrocuted. Then they said, well, she's having seizures. But on February 26, 2016, right before I started my lock, that's the day I was getting my locks.
Okay.
I was in my room, sitting on my love seat, and I said, Lord, you have to show me what this is because I have to tell them because they don't know. And I typed in face pain, and everything came up, multiple sclerosis. I type in face pain now, everything come up but multiple sclerosis.
Everything.
That's at the bottom of the list now. So when I told the doctor that I have, he said, how do you know? I said, because God showed me. He said, oh, no, you're having seizures. I said, no, I'm not, because I don't have a lapse of time. And it was MS.
So you're just advocating for yourself, even with knowledge. Of course, MS is going to affect you physically. How was it adjusting mentally to that?
I had to give myself, that's when she had to die. Tanya Lynne could live, because Tanya got the MS and carried it to Tanya Lynne.
Explain that. Like, go deeper with that.
I was born Tanya. My middle name is Lynn. When my husband died, I started going by Tanya Lynne. I changed my identity because God showed me books and things were coming. And I said, oh, I need a name to write under. So Tanya Lynne. Let me brand myself as Tanya Lynne. First name, middle name. People think it's my last name, Lynn.
It's your middle name.
So I branded myself. But I could take MS all the way back to even when my husband was alive and before I married my husband. So Tanya had MS. Tanya Lynne got diagnosed with it.
Okay. I see.
So Tanya had to go so Tanya Lynne could live.
And fight that.
Because as long as Tanya Lynne kept looking back and remembering that Tanya could remember like this, Tanya could write term papers in an hour, Tanya could stay up until midnight and then knock out 3 and 4 papers, citations and all of that stuff, boom, 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 and she's good. But now I can't do that because all I want to do is sleep, sleep, sleep. And when I wake up, I try to type a little bit at a time and I don't really know what's going on. Can't nobody tell me what's going on. I'm working out and it's working against me. Nobody knows. Nobody can put their finger on it. But Tanya Lynne can remember Tanya being able to do this stuff with ease.
So she was a constant reminder of what was and not allowing you to be who you are today.
Mm-hmm. And so when you can let go of what you were and embrace who you are, then you can live in your now.
Exactly.
And so the topic of the show is my next is now.
Your next is now.
And so what I mean by my next is now is, it's not I'm fitting to, not I'm going to, not I'm about to, not I'm thinking about going to do. It's I'm not going to wait no more to do. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to allow anybody else to tell me it's not time to do.
That's right.
My time is now. So my next is now. So anything that I want to do, I'm going to do it now.
It's like positive affirmations. Mm-hmm. You're speaking it into existence. Mm-hmm. Do you have any type of daily routine, I don't want to say ritual, to prepare you for the day? Do you know what I mean? Like some people get up and they're going to read their scripture first. They're going to meditate. Like, what does that day for now look like for you?
Whatever that day is.
I like that. So you living in the moment.
In the moment, whatever that day is.
In the moment.
I might wake up and be like, oh, God, I thank you. But Lord, can you touch that sciatica nerve in that, that right hip, right? Oh, God, I thank you. I feel the pain going. God, this knee replacement, I thank you for keeping me. But you know, I got to go up and down these steps today. So let me just bend it a little bit in this bed. Lord, I'm not going to touch it. We're going to have no swelling today. Amen. This, and this. You know, God, I thank you that I didn't get awoke, that I didn't get awakened in the middle of the night telling me somebody died or somebody was hurt or somebody was. I thank you that I didn't get a call from a family saying they need me at the hospital. I thank you that there was peace, you know?
Yeah.
That's my day. Basically, those things happen.
An attitude of gratitude.
But attitude of gratitude, however that looks on that day. Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's the now. That's the moment.
And when I get to my school clinic, I keep my iPad there Monday through Friday. I turn my gospel music on, so it's always playing, and it's playing in the halls. Because I'm a nurse at a Catholic school, so I can talk about Jesus. I can pray for the students. Little girl today, they had picture day last week, so her mother pinched her, braided her brains, is what I said. She said, Nursey, can you feel this? I got a bump. I said, oh, your mom braided your brains. It's okay, baby. I said, that's what happens. It's a little too tight. So I gave her a little ice pack, and she was like, oh. I said, you want me to pray? She said, yes. Just, Lord, remove the bump. Take the pain away. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. And she gave me the biggest hug, and I kissed her on the top of her head and sent her on her way. So you know, still being of service.
Mm-hmm. Is that your love language? Acts of service?
No, my love language is affirmation and touch.
Really? Words of affirmation is number one?
I need my man to give me affirmation. I need him to be touching.
And then physical
He ain't gonna
touch.
Suffocate me, but he can.
I need you to be in my skin.
In my space and I think, it.
Yeah, human touch is vital. Mm-hmm. It's necessary.
It is necessary. And I need him to touch my heart. Like pay attention. I like simple things. Like I like wildflowers. Roses are nice, but I like the wildflowers. Mm-hmm. Dandelions and sunflowers and daisies and stuff. That's the simple stuff.
Yes.
Going out to dinner is nice, but we can stay home and cook.
Man, it's the best.
The cozy.
It's a mental stimulation for me. Like, get me here. You can have everything else.
You can have everything.
Because I'm not big on gifts. I like experiences. You know?
Memories.
Yes.
Planting memories.
That part right there.
That's because that's stuff that you can't be duplicated.
Yes.
Everybody can get roses.
Yes.
But they can't share our intimate moments and our memories.
And that's from an experience. Create a moment.
Create
like
a moment.
That.
Create moments.
Speaking of man and physical touch, is you open to love?
Okay, so I am single.
Okay.
And while I'm turning 60, I'm still very young at heart, fellas.
That's right.
And so if you want to get with Auntie, let's have a conversation.
You got to come through me first. Yes. I got to do a little survey.
And Mikey, listen. His ignorant stuff while he eating pretzels. So what you say you do, huh? What you do?
That sounds like him.
So yes, I am very open to being in a good relationship. And like I told somebody the other day, I said I'm single because there has not been a connection yet. I'm not one to go out there and just, here I am.
You're looking for intimacy.
Intimacy on all levels.
And like I told a girlfriend earlier, I'm looking for intimacy, not sex.
Right.
Okay? And I'm looking for covenant, not commitment.
That's what I was going to say. Covenant. Because you're committed to the marriage, but you don't have a covenant with me, your wife.
And people are only committed to something until they can get something out of it. Once it's met their needs,
they're done.
They're done.
But covenant makes you stay.
Listen.
Covenant makes you work.
Listen.
Covenant makes you do some things that you don't want to do.
Absolutely.
That's what covenant would do. And in my marriage to my husband, that's what I had. I had covenant.
Covenant.
It wasn't the most healthiest of marriage. It wasn't the most positive. But speaking of covenant, let me read this. Every choice in our life, it's off my blog. Every choice, it's called Choices. Every choice in our life is a free will choice. However, many times some choose what the natural man desires and not what the spirit and natural man needs. I know for a fact God told me to marry my husband because he confirmed what I was shown in a dream prior to my husband asking me to be his wife. Yes, I had the choice to or not to marry him, which then leads to, will I be obedient to what the Spirit of God says, or will I test the Spirit of God and say no? He had AIDS. I could have said no. But I said yes to the Spirit of God, and I wouldn't change a thing, and I'd do it all over again if I had to. Because I wouldn't be the awesome woman. I wouldn't be Tanya Lynne.
That's beautiful.
Had it not been from Nate, because Tanya Lynne came after Nate passed. Nate passed and birthed Tanya Lynne.
What was your greatest lesson out of that marriage, that relationship, that time, that covenant?
That surrendering to God's yes will cover you in every area on assignment. Surrender. It may not feel good while it's working, but it works for your good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I
Auntie.
know I'm a wife. I'm a wife.
I listen.
You got 3 minutes. Yeah, I'm not a girl.
You're a wifey.
Yeah. I ask guys, we're going to go have coffee or tea. You don't get to do dinner with me until I know if we share the same. Because if you don't want to get married, and I do want to be married, you're wasting my time.
So you're dating with intention.
With intention.
Yeah.
With intention.
I like that.
Because at my age, I don't need to be in a 2-year courtship.
Yeah.
I know what I want. You know what you want. Let's get this done. There's a movie with Taye Diggs and Megan Good called Forever.
Okay.
I recommend everybody watch it. It's on Lifetime.
Okay, Lifetime.
I watched it last night. I paid $2.99 on Amazon to rent it to watch it because my sister Sheila told me to. And that love was a covenant love, and it didn't take them long
I'm about to watch that.
to understand it. And that's covenant. And people don't understand covenant.
There's a difference.
Because they don't have covenant with God. They have a habit with God. I go to church Sunday because it's a habit.
A routine.
A routine. He's my ATM. When I need something.
That's when I call on him.
That's when I call.
And then when I'm good, you don't hear from me. You know how people are. When you good, you don't hear from them. Until they get low, and it's like, hey, where you been?
That's it. I want to thank you for sitting with me. And I want to shout you out because you're about to be on the WOVU.
Yes, I am.
With your own show to help the people.
I am. I have a show now that's on Fridays. It's a show really out of Atlanta, but we share the airwaves here in Cleveland. But that's more of like, I'm getting you ready. It's Friday. You just got off work, so we kicking it. It's the Grade A Club. So it's the Grade A Club every Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. Right here on WOVU. But Jay Williams gave me an opportunity to have another time slot where it's whatever Mo wants. And my number one love language is acts of service. So it does my heart good to use any platform that I have for other people. You know what I'm saying? Because it was easily given to me, you know, as a passion, as a gift. And I like to use that for other people.
See, my acts of service that's my assignment.
That's your assignment.
That's my assignment.
Yeah.
But my acts of service is the touch and the affirmation. So,
yeah. They're all in there, though.
It is. And we operate in all of them well.
All the time.
So everybody, I want to thank you. When you see Auntie in November, Auntie will be 60 and 2 days old, y'all. Looking fly and fabulous. I will be. Please know that I appreciate you taking this ride. This is my 2nd year. I appreciate you riding on this wonderful journey of mine. look forward to some more great conversations as 60 approaches and we walk into our new. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. And may heaven always smile upon you. This is Auntie. I'll see you at 60. Peace.